What in the 20s is going
In the
on?
20s,
Think about
yes.
the 20s.
What
baby.
Plenty, plenty.
What in the 20s is
I
going
am
on?
here for my 20s, baby.
This is the 20s.
Welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Zamam Kize, and this is What's in the 20s, a podcast where you listen to me grow through it, baby. On this episode, I'm going to be speaking about slowing down. I I think about this time, right? It was a few weeks ago. A friend of mine was hosting a couple of friends over and all of that. It was a good time. We were playing games, all of that kind of stuff. And we decided to play general knowledge. Loved this game. Played it all the time when I was like still a child and all the rest. I'm still a child. But yeah, played it all the time. And we played it in pairs. We played it in teams of pairs. And it was interesting because my teammate and I, every time it came to the scores of each round, we were never the highest or never the lowest, right? We were averaging each time, like just somewhere in the middle, each time, every round. And then we came to the end, right? And it's time to now tally up the scores. To our surprise, we won. To our and like everybody, when I say to our surprise, I don't just mean like my teammate and I. You know when everybody just goes, "What?" Like, what do you mean by that? You know, and I remember just thinking, how did that happen? You know, because we had no expectations to, because we were never like, we were watching everybody celebrate at the end of each round, like another person going, "Oh yeah, we got the highest," and this and that. But then what we realized was that every round it changed. So this round they were there at the top, and the next round that pair was at the bottom, and the next and the next and the next and the next. But we maintained a consistent kind of balance throughout, and it was unbelievable that slow and steady won the race. Like if you just kind of keep at a at a steady pace and all the rest, you kind of finish out first, like you kind of come out on top. And I never thought that it could work like that. I always thought that you have to come out on top and build a gap. That's always like the technique, right? Is start strong and fast and hard and all the rest. And when you are there, you have a gap between your competitors and all the rest. But you don't realize that your competitors will begin to bridge that gap. They will catch up to you if you cannot maintain that level of just excellence from throughout, I guess. And that's what happens a lot in life, right? We think about like this race to trend, to go viral and all the rest. It's like all the people we thought were just super out there and popular, famous, all the rest, all of a sudden become irrelevant. And I think of how we are so consumed by hustle culture, right? That tells us that no matter how much we're doing, there's always more we could be doing, that we should be doing, that it always feels like we're playing catch up. We always feel like we're in a race to get somewhere, to be somewhere, that we do not have enough, right? That we are not enough. I know that I very often in my life sits with that pressure, that feeling of like, I'm not where I want to be, and I'll always like, sometimes some people will congratulate you, and you're like, when you hear people respond like, yeah, but it's not good enough, or yeah, but it's not even, like you feel like, thank you, but like this is not even half of where I'm trying to get to, and all the rest. Like, you guys don't even know what I want, like you kind of get that feeling of like, you don't even know how to enjoy being congratulated, how to celebrate where you're at, essentially, because there's so much more you see for yourself, that you want for yourself, and it always poses such a hindrance to your enjoyment of things, to your quality of life. Essentially, is that we're stressed out all the time, trying to get to a place that we don't even know really what it looks like, because once we get there, we're so focused and like kind of just tunnel vision to get somewhere else, right? And it's that feeling of like the top of one mountain is the bottom of the next, and you're freaking out constantly because there's just so much more you want for yourself all the time. And I think that we live in a society that keeps letting you know that you're not there yet, right? If you go on social media and this and that and you're comparing yourself to other people, if you look at your neighbor, if you look at your friends, if you look at whatever, it's like you keep looking at your life and their life and you compare it as an indicator to how well you're doing in your own life. And I think that I remember ending 2024 feeling so burnt out, so finished, so much like I had nothing more to give, nothing more. Oh, why am I getting emotional? um, just like a feeling of like, what more do you want from me, right? What more is there for me to do, to be? Like, you've taken everything, I've done so much, and I just kind of felt like I couldn't show up in so many areas of my life because it was taking everything, and it just it feels so exasperating, right? It feels so difficult and hard, and you're using what's left of your strength to finish the race. You're using what's left of your energy, of your motivation and your drive or whatever to get to the end, at all costs, even if you're so depleted, but it feels like there's a deadline for you to reach. I know that a lot of us feel like that. Like, it feels like life just keeps taking and taking and taking, and we're so worn out. Like, when are we going to get a good day? When are we going to experience just like a relieving moment when it's like there's peace? It feels like something just keeps happening, and another thing and another thing. And, it feels like heartbreak after heartbreak, disappointment after disappointment, letdown after letdown. And it gets so demotivating, to want more. Sometimes the beginning of the year can feel so taxing because everybody is making all these plans, making all these resolutions, these goals of what they want to do and be and achieve. And you're just, you really just want a good day. That's your goal. Your goal is to make it through the day. Your goal is to have some sort of peace. Your goal is to be excited about something, to look forward to something. I remember talking to my friend, and we were discussing like, how do you see your life in 2025? Like, what do you want for the year and all of that kind of stuff? And I remember just saying, like, honestly, i just I just want to feel okay. I just want to take care of myself. That's what I want out of the year. It's like, I think, and this is coming from someone, right, who has a 5-year plan, 10-year plan, this year plan, like just so many plans, plans for their plans, plans to plan. Like, this is coming from someone who keeps thinking they know what their life is going to look like, and is rarely ever surprised or shocked by life because it is, I had planned and anticipated this outcome. But looking at 2025, all I want is to rest. All I want is to take a break. All I want is to just step outside myself for a bit and slow down, learn to actually take it easy. And when I say I want to take care of myself in 2025, I mean, like, if it means I need to go to therapy to take care of my mind, I'm going to do that, and I've never gone to therapy, but I'm like, if that's what it takes, that's what I'm telling myself is what I'm going to invest in, is my emotional and mental well-being. I don't want to like keep having this perception of like, oh, Zama's well, Zama's doing great and all of that. And then like 2, 3, 4 years later, you find me just crashing out, just spiraling and having a mental and emotional breakdown because I didn't deal with the things that I needed to deal with. I didn't heal from the things that I needed to heal from. I didn't grieve from the things I needed to grieve from because I had put so much pressure on myself to keep moving on with life, to keep working, to keep going on with the times and all the rest. It's like, I want to actually invest in being more stable, invest in actually sorting out my foundation, because I can't keep building on top of a faulty foundation. I can't keep building a life on top of just a terrible grounding system, right? You can't keep sowing seeds in soil that is not good for the seed, right? That will not be fruitful for the seed and produce harvest and all the rest. It's going to be, it's not going to work. And that's what something that I was reflecting on, is if I keep going the way that I'm going to regret it. Like, I'm in the long run, like, of course, it's like it feels so great to have accolades. It feels so great to have achievements and say that, oh, I've done this, I've achieved this, I have this, I've ticked this off my goals and all of that kind of stuff. But I'm realizing it all counts for nothing if I'm so unwell, and my priority, I guess, is learning how to just be more at ease. I think sometimes we feel like when when we're not like achieving or ticking things off or whatever it is, then it must equal that we are stagnant, that we are stuck, and we have that fear. And that's why we're so addicted to feeling like we're accomplishing something, like we're doing something, like we're constantly in motion and all the rest, is because it feels like it would be worse if we were stuck. It would be worse if we were sitting in stillness, if we felt kind of trapped and all the rest. And I think that this fear of like just moving 1% further, or like, at a steady pace, it's insane, because you're in a rush to be somewhere, and I say this all the time. Some people are in a rush to nowhere. You're in a rush to get nowhere. Like, where are you rushing to? Oh yeah, Peter. Like, I think about that all the time. Like, what is it that you're seeing there that I'm not seeing yet, that you are literally speeding for? And, I think like some people are in a rush to love, right? Because the feeling of love is so great that we would rather be in the wrong kind of love than no love at all. And so we rush getting official with someone, we rush marriage, we rush having kids, building a life and all the rest, just to find out we did it all with the wrong person. And it's like, you might even find out that you did it with someone you don't even know, like someone you didn't even take the time to get to know who they are, what their backgrounds are, what it is they want for themselves and their life and all the rest. And but we just decide, let me build a life with this person. Let me actually construct a whole future around this person, because of this person, in spite of this person. And it's like we rush that decision because um we feel so desperate to feel something other than what we feel now. And desperation is a terrible place to be, because then we'll settle for anything, for everything really. And we get this feeling of wanting to be in a rush for our careers and the jobs that we have, to get a rush, be in a rush to get a promotion and all the rest. um why? Sometimes you might even realize you don't even have the skills needed to get to that level of your career and all the rest. You didn't even take time to do the preparation and all the things that you needed to acquire mentally, emotionally, physically, in order to withstand and sustain you in that season. You haven't even gathered any of that, but we're rushing to get there, and then we're complaining and we're going off like something is wrong, the world is against me, God is not hearing my prayers, like all of that kind of stuff. When will it be my turn? This, that, and the rest. And it's like, don't you want to build something more sturdy, more stable? Aren't you looking forward to longevity, sustainability, and all the rest? Um, it's just it's it's terrible. It's honestly so frustrating seeing these arcs, right? Where we build so quick, and then it's like you crash and burn, and you just see it decline so quickly too. And it feels so like, why do we peak too soon? Like, how do you there's people where we say like they peaked too soon if they were the coolest people or whatever in high school, and then like life afterwards, like they never really challenged themselves enough to pursue better for themselves and more for themselves, because it's like they thought that they in high school was that was living. They were at the top of the pyramid. But there is life after high school. The same way I'll say there is life after having a viral moment. There is life after trending and all the rest. You actually need to figure out like what are you gonna do afterwards? What are athletes who retire gonna do if they don't make a plan for afterwards? There's always gonna be someone younger, someone faster, someone better, someone smarter, someone all of that in every career that we take up in our lives. And I think we need to figure out like what is our plan. um what is our plan when we're done with this one? And I think when you're so in a rush to get somewhere, you skip processes, you skip steps that you're meant to take, that would help you actually outsource and, just kind of have money in different places, have options in different places. We skip the part where I always say, like, if there's advice I would ever give to like my children, like the number one advice, well, children I don't have yet, if I were to have kids and all the rest, it would be to give yourself a life with options. Build a life with options for yourself, especially women, like especially girls. I think sometimes we tie our responsibilities, our goals, and all the rest to somebody else, to our partners, our parents, and all the rest. We feel like a responsibility to serve, right? And I think that we need to learn to build a lifestyle for ourselves that doesn't restrict us to one thing, that doesn't restrict us to one space. There is more that you can offer, there is more that you can be. And when you build yourself a life where you understand that there's more skills that you can have, there's more spaces of intelligence that you can occupy, there's more creative avenues that you can take, there's business ventures you can do, there's whatever. You build a life of abundance for yourself. And you can't do that when you're in a rush, because it won't sustain you. It won't be able to hold you through every season of your life. And building a life with options is learning also how to self-regulate. It's learning also how to take care of yourself and your own needs, so that you can show up in all these different avenues and areas of your life that you are trying to make sure stays above water. And I knew, like, immediately coming into 2025, that if I wanted any chance of having a good life, I would need to slow down. I would need to actually cut out just this idea of doubling up on work and doing too much. I mean, even for example, like coming to record podcasts, I record 2 podcasts every single time I come into a session, and I have to prepare for 2 every single time. And it's like I feel like I'm mentally like compartmentalizing, essentially, like, okay, done with this episode, have to start the next one, have to think about this, have to go through these notes and whatever it is. And it's like, okay, from then I need to go do other things with my day and whatever, just tick off, I done this, I did this, I did this. I'm constantly trying to do more, thinking that like it's going to help me do less in the long run. And that is true. It's a technique, right? If you stack up, you're able to have more time to do other things. That was like my plan essentially. But I'm also realizing that it would take a lot more from me, right? Emotionally, because I mean, this is an emotional exercise to be able to record and speak and do, and that, like, all of that kind of stuff. You're literally, you're exerting yourself. So not overexerting, but like if you're stacking episodes, essentially you're pulling more from your emotional muscle and your mental muscle and all the rest, to think, to um just be able to reflect and all of that kind of stuff. Like, I feel like I'm in therapy every time I have to record an episode. So when I record 2, I feel like I'm doing a double session of therapy, and like reflecting with myself and checking in on myself and all of that. Like, that's why, like, at the end of it, like, I need to go do something that helps pull me out of it. Because I mean, this is like a self-improvement podcast, right? And so everything I do, it's personal. Everything I talk about or whatever it is, it's like I'm expelling from myself. And it's like learning, how can I self-regulate? How can I rest after this? How can I pour back into myself after this? And I really want 2025 to be a year of pouring back into Zama, because I think I spent all my life pouring out, and I don't think it's a terrible thing to pour out. I think it's great. But like I said, like, I need to find time and space for rest, for recuperation, for rejuvenation. Like, to like, you need to do that. You need to learn how to pour back into your cup so that you're able to have a supply to pour out of. And I think that by the end of 2024, I was so like defeated, bro. Like, I was because I did nothing to take care of me. I did nothing to check in with myself or whatever it is. Like, I just was like, I needed to keep going. And I think we feel like that in our lives all the time. We feel like we just need to keep going. When bad things happen, when you're going through trials and tribulations, you just tell yourself, you know what, it could be worse, and you keep going. And what happens when your body tells you we can't keep going anymore? Like, what happens when your mind gives in and can't take it anymore? And I want to learn, like, what are the different ways that I can actually just enjoy my life more? What are the ways that I can enjoy the waiting period more? I think sometimes we get so frustrated in our waiting, like, why are we still here? This and that. When do we get out of it? When is our breakthrough and all the rest? But like, how can you actually enjoy the journey like a lot more and appreciate this time a lot more? I know my brother, 2 years ago when I would like complain about I'm not where I want to be and all the rest, my brother would say, Zama, like, enjoy this time. Like, so this was like a time where like I didn't have a job or anything like that. Like, I was fresh out of varsity. No, like, I just kind of felt like, what's happening? And he was like, Zama, just learn to enjoy the time that you have right now, because there will be a time when you're working and you're gonna miss having more time. You're gonna miss this period in your life where you could just um wake up when you were well rested, decide what you want to do with your day or whatever it is. And then, like, when you're on the other side of it, you're going to just keep having so much to do that you're going to feel like you don't have enough like time and all the rest. And it's like just learning how to enjoy every phase, every season and all the rest, like the good that it comes with, instead of complaining about it and seeing it all as bad. I want to learn how to enjoy the quiet. I feel like I don't get enough quiet, whether it's mentally, whether it's in my life, socially, and all the rest. I think that there's always so much going on. There's always something happening, right? Because that's the thing, right? We live in a society that teaches us that we need to always be busy. And it's like, even if we are able to at least give the impression that we're busy, we feel accomplished. We feel like we're doing the right thing. Being able to make other people think, oh wow, you got a lot going on in your life. It makes us feel good. It makes us feel like, oh yeah, I am that person. Like, wow, because it feels, I don't know, I guess embarrassing to say that you don't have a lot going on. It feels like you should be ashamed to say that you're free and available. We don't want to give the impression that we're too available or all the rest. We want to feel like, oh yeah, like my life is popping. There's so much happening. Like, I got places to go, people to see. But I'm realizing, like, there's no shame in being at home on a Friday night, being at home on a Friday night. There's no shame in spending the weekend indoors. There's no shame in spending New Year's just with a few people that you care about. My friends and I were having this conversation. Like, I feel like we always have this pressure, like, oh my gosh, it's New Year's. Like, where are we going out to? What are we gonna do? Da da da. Like, it has to be the events of the century all the time. But like, sometimes, I mean, I always spend New Year's with my family, my immediate family. That's how we spend every single New Year's. That's what I'm used to. And I'm realizing, like, I find so much value in being able to do that, in being able to just be with the people, the three people that I care about, that like have just made living so fulfilling for me and all the rest. Not to say that everybody else in my life doesn't, but I mean, like, my immediate family, like, I see them, I mean, we see each other when we do, right? Like Christmas, like holidays and all of that kind of stuff. And it's not like all the time because we don't all live together. So it just feels so nice to begin the year with these people that I hold so dear to my heart. And I think there's no shame in saying you don't want to be at this place doing this thing because of this pressure of wanting to show other people that you're cool, that you're great, that you're whatever it is. Like, I think it's a lot more meaningful. I remember one of my friends saying they're comfortable to even just go to the nearest church and just be there, and just be with Christ. And I'm like, that's so true. Like, sometimes it's just a lot more fulfilling doing something that fills you up than doing something that takes from you. And I think that, you know, you hear all these stories, unfortunately, of people who are just going through the most on New Year's because there's a lot of crime that happens, right? People are opportunistic, right? Opportunistic. And they know that there's a lot of people that are outside and all the rest. And that's when people lose phones, lose this and that. Just so much happens. Or it's so full everywhere, so you don't have access to certain spaces. You don't even get to enjoy certain spaces as much because it's packed. It's this and that. Like it's terrible. Like not being able to enjoy. I guess for some people, what might be the most sentimental, time of the year is being like how you start your year. But I think, yeah, like when you think about your year and what you want and all of that, like I think it's okay to want to slow down. It's okay to want to take a break from things, to want to be released from the pressure of having to do too much. In fact, I encourage it. I think it's fine. Like rather let me take the most time that I have really building a solid foundation for myself where I feel able to build something on top of it. Let me take all the time that I need to actually make sure that I prepare my soil before I like rush into expecting harvest and all the rest. And it's okay to want that. Let me spend all my time getting to know this person, understanding them, seeing them before I make a decision that I want to build a life with them and all of that, that I want to fall in love. Some of us are falling in love with people we don't know. Like, we're falling in love with ideas of them and all the rest. And it's like, like tell yourself like it's okay to not know. It's okay to not know what tomorrow looks like, to not know what next year or next month or whatever it is going to be for you. Like take the time to enjoy here, to enjoy now, to enjoy this space. And that's my focus really. Like I'm exhausted. I'm so tired. I'm so tired, and I am looking forward to filling my cup back up again. And if you are in the same space that I am in, I see you, I understand you, I relate and I resonate with you. I sympathize and I empathize with you. You have my heart, my whole heart. And I hope you also are in a space where you're able to afford yourself that kind of slowing down in pace and direction and all the rest, take a beat, take a minute, take as long as you need. Um and when you're ready, trust that you'll come back stronger. But like also we don't need to come back to this way of living either. Like we can just live a life that is simple, live a life that is just fulfilling in its own little ways, and that can be enough for you. I'm realizing that for me, that's that's enough for me. But yeah, that's all really I wanted to speak about today is if you would like to slow down, please take that opportunity to. As always, I'm sending my love. Goodbye.
What in the 20s is going
In the
on
20s
here?
here.
The 20s,
What
baby.
happened in the
The What in the 20s is
I
going
am
here
here
for
for
my
my
20s, baby? This is the 20s.